And we're back. Good morning, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning as you file in here. Let me get myself together. I swear, this never fails me. I'm not sure what kind of ghosts are living in my house that come in here and move my stuff around and just reset this whole place. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Some of the serum almost dripped down my eyes. I had to catch that real fast. Real fast. It was moving too quick. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I see Lisa Mitchell. Good morning. Good morning, Bestie. Good morning, Play by Motion. Early live session. I do a live session every morning, play in motion. Every single morning, I do 2 shows a day. I do one in the morning, excuse me, and I do one in the evening. So the morning shows are, we're a little late this morning, but the morning shows are 4:30 a.m. Pacific, 7:30 Eastern, excuse me. And then the night shows are 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's writing some messed that up. Good morning, happy Wednesday, everybody. You ever write something down and you miss a one letter and then you got to cross it out and then you're like, nope, I'm starting all over, right? Give me a second. Let me just write this something down before I mess up again, and then I got to throw another piece of paper away. As you file in here, let me know what you're doing. Oh, you're screwing. It's Wednesday, October 12th. Let me write that date down before I mess it up and you guys say something and then we gotta tough it out. Good morning, everybody. It is later in the hour. I'm sorry. I was moving like a snail. Not so much that I'm tired. Because I did sleep last night, but I'm just like, damn, I didn't refill my water. You know what the problem is in the morning for the morning shows that I do, I don't really, my little assistants that live with me, aka my kids, are sleeping, and so whatever I need, you can forget about it. You can absolutely forget about it. Ain't nobody coming to help me this morning. But don't worry. File in here, everybody. Let's get this day going together. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation early in the morning. And let's figure this out together. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Ashley Jones. Good morning, Bryson. Good morning. Here we go. Rick Party gave me a drop for my morning sequence. Let's see what's happening here. Why is my computer so hot? That's what's going on. Okay. Good morning, everybody. There is a drop for the morning show. It's right here. There is a drop for the morning show, but he doesn't want me to really use it. He don't want me to use it. He said he gonna give me a new one. But he hasn't given me the new one.
Sit back and relax. It's time for the Natasha Simona sequence.
Sit back and relax. It's time for the Natasha Simona sequence. And he said, I'm going to give you a new one. But he didn't give me a new one yet. So we got to use that one. So, shout out to the room. Shout out to the room. Tell me what you're doing, everybody. It's Wednesday, October 12th. Are we doing Halloween this year? What are we doing this year? My kids are not certain that they're going to be doing Halloween, which is great for me. Hello? We don't have to do Halloween. Don't do Halloween. Good morning to our friends over in Australia. Actually, good afternoon. Isn't it afternoon over there in Australia? Laney Lane is working. Ooh, that money looks good on you, Laney Lane. Anybody stuck in traffic? Who's out there in traffic? Indira says she's working. Y'all are at work early. Okay, Miss Kim. Shout out to Miss Kim. Miss Kim's daughter turned 14 years old yesterday. And we were chatting behind the scenes, and I sent a message to her daughter. Her daughter responded, "Tell that lady I like her." I said, "I'm a lady? I've reached lady age?" So I hope your daughter had a great rest of her birthday. Steven says it is 10:46 on Wednesday. So it is Wednesday night in Australia. Good evening, mate. You know what? You know what's crazy? I've been who says they're running late? Hold on a minute. Brian, you can't be running late on my watch at all. We don't do late over here. Low key, we do sometimes. You know what it is? Because I'm in control of all of this, and it's so early. There's nobody calling me. I need to find a way to start the show while I'm moseying around. It's early. So we don't do late in real life. It be traffic outside. Cotton says, retired, trying to stretch. Oh, shout out to Official Dirty Savage. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. Watching you. Awesome morning show. Thank you. Have you been here? I haven't seen you. Sorry if I haven't. My dog doesn't like trick or treat. That's what Bestie says. All right, everybody. Good morning to the room. Let me tell you something. Shout out to everybody that showed up last night. Shout out to everybody that just shows up. Shout out to my little overbite that I have that messes me up sometimes. And shout out to this vacation here that's still sitting up here. Time to get this vacation. Who wants to come over and help me take this down? Whenever I start taking it down, it's like, oh God, I don't want to do this no more. And I literally get up, and I'm like, I don't feel like taking this hair down, so we're just gonna end right here. All right, let's get into these national days. Hello, good morning, everybody. Let's breeze through this. Let's breeze through the next. Let's breeze through the next hour. Let's do this together. It's 49 minutes after the hour. 49 minutes after the hour. If you got something to do, somewhere to go, somebody to call, you got to brush your teeth, drink some water, grab your coffee cup because you're running out the door trying to pay attention to me, and now you forgot your coffee cup, and then you're going to be sitting in your car. You're going to be sitting on the train, and then you're going to be like, damn it, that girl Natasha made me forget her coffee. No, I did not. So, do one last look, one last armpits smell. Brian said, my bad, saying I'm running late. Oh, he's in traffic listening to us. Let me ask you guys a question. It's kind of like a question statement. So as you all know, I have a podcast, or maybe you didn't know, but Why You Spitting on Girth? Sorry, Girth. I'm so sorry, baby. Okay. Okay, so listen. You may or may not know, but I do have a podcast. It's called the Natasha Simona Sequence. Hello. And you can find it wherever you find your podcasts, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, Odyssey. It's all over. It's everywhere. It really is everywhere. And so, hold on one second. Did I miss something? I be missing stuff. Chanel, what did I miss? Okay. I don't know what I missed. So I was having a conversation with the folks over where my podcast is partnered with. And shout out to y'all over there. We had a good meeting. And one of the things we talked about is, just making sure the brand and all that stuff is, doing what it needs to do. And it wasn't. Just got to keep it real, right? Sometimes the brand ain't branding. Hold on one second. Hold on. Gotta get the pink highlighter with the yellow highlighter. So anyway, in this meeting, we were just kind of catching up on, things and this and that and what's going on with Natasha, Simona, and the Natasha Simona sequence. So, we had to kind of keep each other up to date and talk numbers and, what do things look like and all that stuff. And so for everybody watching me, you have me on, but you're really listening to me. When I first started this morning sequence, the idea was going to be to put the morning sequence on the audio portion. And so we've decided that the evening portion will be on available where hold on a second. I got to get something hot in my system. You just wait 1 second. Okay. Got something hot rolling down the back of my throat and down my just marinating and doing its thing. Needed that. So let me start over. Good morning. First of all, shout out to the room. I am going to regroup, reformulate, and get it together live right in front of your face. That's what we got to do sometimes. It's 53 minutes after the hour. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to the entire United States of America. Good morning. To the rest of the world, Australia right now, they're about to go to bed. So good night to our friends over in Australia and to our friends over in England. Good morning. Let me see. Is it still morning over there? Yep, it's almost afternoon. Here we go. As I was saying, because we're going to start over, kind of. In this meeting, we were discussing what would be better on audio for the Natasha Simona sequence. And we decided that the evening show, the Natasha Simona sequence, the evening edition, will be available on audio. So after I record my audio live here on Instagram, it will then be available 10 minutes afterwards where all your podcasts are available for stream and listen. So now my question to you all here, we're small but we're mighty. Would you want this available on audio as well? We can test that out for a week. I don't know. I'm asking you live so that we can do just a little research to see what makes sense. One of the things we did say is because I do the time check and, the show is just a little bit different. Both shows have a little bit of personality if you listen to both. And we talked about that yesterday. And in the few I had like 2.5 meetings. 2.5 because the other one was more of a conversation that turned into a meeting because the person I was talking to is somebody who does all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But she's my friend. Both shows have personality, different personalities. And they're like, how do you do that? I don't know. I don't know how I make it happen, but I make it happen. But we're small here and we're mighty. And I love the intimacy of the morning show. So good morning, everybody. Get up. It's 55 minutes after the hour. 55 minutes after the hour. Keep it pushing. Keep it going. If you doing something, you better get off. Climb off. Girl, get off of him. Honey, get off of her. It's good to have audio for those who listen while driving. Well, the audio wouldn't be live. If there's a way that we could record, if you know a way that I could record live, actually, I think there is. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, maybe, but actually, that's called radio. Hello? That's radio. I don't think that there's a way to record this podcast live on an audio version, but I don't know everything, and if there is, then we can explore that option. So the Natasha Simona sequence, you know, since I've really put this on pause to do something else, and now I'm picking it back up from where I pretty much left off and reformulating and see what works and how, you know, numbers work and all that stuff. You know, we could do this together. So when you share your opinions with me on the availability and all those things, I do pay attention and I do the mathematics and all that stuff. With that said, I put it out there and we're moving on. Good morning, everybody. Bryson says the Breakfast Club is the most dangerous morning show on earth, and that's why I've been listening to it all day. Bryson likes to choose danger, but the Breakfast Club isn't dangerous. You know, they all have there's 3 personalities over there. Hello? Sirius is live in the car. Y'all want me on Sirius XM in the mornings? Hello? Y'all want me on Sirius XM radio? Okay. Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah, both shows that I do, the morning and the afternoon, is 2 different personalities. You know, when here in the morning time, we have no makeup on. We've got the seruming. You know, you want to know something? I'm actually using a new serum, and I'm not in love with it. This new serum, there's an ingredient that is not working seamlessly with my skin, and I'm not in love with it. It's not giving what it's supposed to give. So that serum is going to go back to the store today. You gotta get up on out of here, buddy. Going back to my other serum. So let's get through these national days, because I do have a question for all of you. I'm going to get in trouble for asking it, but you know what? El Jefe is sleeping. El Jefe is sleeping. So I'm going to ask this question because you know what he's going to do? He's going to say, how was the show today? And I'm going to say, it was a good show. And he's going to ask how long, you know, he's going to ask the time and all those things. So I'll be honest. And then he's going to ask, well, what did you talk about? This part we won't talk about because El Jefe is not here. Tasha won't be quiet on the breakfast. Tasha won't be quiet on the Breakfast Club. No? Why would, hello? Never will I be quiet. Let's get through these national days. Shout out to all the farmers in the building. Today's National Farmers Day. So, let me see what they're saying and how to honor this day. I would assume you find a local farmer's market. You know, one thing I miss about living in New York City is that I used to go to Union Square in New York City, right there, 14th. Look at me trying to do a voiceover and just got all caught up in there. Hey, you know what? Sidebar. I think I'm gonna go to. I think I gotta go get an X-ray done. I think I've got some fluid happening on my lungs, and it's very interesting. I'm gonna try and like stand on my head upside down and drain my body. I'm gonna do some hocus pocus on me first, and then if that doesn't work for, you know, I'll do that for 72 hours. And if my 72 hour hocus pocus doesn't work on myself, I'm going to have to take a trip to radiology. So I'll keep you all posted on that. I did mention it last night and everybody was like, what? Yeah, I think there's some liquid on my lungs happening. Might have a little Might have a little pneumonia. We'll see. You guys know you can have like a pneumonia and not know it, right? So, not trying to self-diagnose here, but when you're like really, really in tune and in touch with your body, when something is just a little bit interesting. And I'm like, might be some liquid happening there. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Today, I really enjoyed going to, I really, really enjoyed going to the farmer's market because I love getting fresh produce. I love getting fresh produce. So I have a tendency to only buy, my stuff for dinner and all those things. I used to go every day, but in the name of my schedule being really packed and chaotic, sometimes I have to be smarter. So today is National Farmers Day. Make sure you go and support, support your, local farmers market and everything like that. Shout out to everybody typing, walking pneumonia in the chat. Yeah, I didn't, sometimes when you don't know that people know, not to undermine the brains of my people, because I know we've got the light bulb screwed on. And I know when I don't have my light bulb screwed on, you all have it for me together. Shout out to the room. Yeah, it might be walking pneumonia. And no, I'm not trying to claim it, but you have post-nasal drip. I might, I might have post-nasal drip. But I could feel that there's a little liquid on my lungs. So we're going to try and get through that. Today is also National Free Thought Day. Today's National Free Thought Day. This day promotes logic and evidence based on decision making. Okay, so the day kind of sort of speaks for itself. Shout out to Ashley Jones. Everybody's telling me to get some sea moss. I've never tried sea moss. I'm a little scared to try it, but when it comes to my health, I'll take it. What does sea moss do for me? Sea moss. Everybody's flooding the chat with sea moss. Jesus. Whatever it is, sending you good healing vibrations. Thank you, Afua, straight from Germany. Just a little liquid. Black seed oil and zinc. So let me tell you something. Let me get through this free thought day because the way my free thoughts happen. So today is Free Thought Day. The observance offers an opportunity for free thinkers to have a sense of community. So shout out to everybody in here. Your brain does a thing and, whatever this means to you. It's also National Gumbo Day. So if you need an idea, for dinner, it is National Gumbo Day. It's also National Savings Day. My savings account looks like that's what my savings account looks like. Funny enough, they sent it's crazy how this kind of happens like this, but I go to check the mail and it's like from the bank, and I don't even wait till I get home because I went to go check the other mail, and I'm like opening it before I could even like start the car back up, and I'm like, anything that comes from the bank, I'm like, open it right away. Hello, what is this? And it was like their quarterly whatever. I'm like dry. Okay. Dry. And then the ending statement, dry. From this day forward, our bank accounts are going to be full. Amen. We're all going to declare it here for everybody in the room watching and communicating in the chat. From this day forward for the rest of the year, we are going to be filling our savings. Today's National Savings Day. So if you have children, actually, this is for work or school. Today is National Bring Your Teddy Bear to Work and School Day. First of all, let me tell you something. When I used to work in corporate America, shout out to everybody at Forbes. If I ever saw any of my coworkers bringing a teddy bear to work, I'd walk out. Hello? Today's National Bring Your Teddy Bear to Work and School Day. Do not bring a teddy bear to school or to work for those of you that are grown. Let's see what Charlene says. She's telling me about sea moss. It gets rid of mucus, detoxes, help with health issues such as high blood pressure, high cholesterol, etc. Okay, so it's a regulator. Regulator! Good morning, everybody. The morning show is loud and obnoxious. Yeah, so I don't know. Listen, do you care about National Teddy Bear Day? Do you want to know how it started? Back in 1902, American President Theodore Roosevelt said that he will not be shooting a bear while hunting in Mississippi. This incident made national news. Listen, they said for adults, teddy bears brighten up your day. It brings a feeling of celebration to your office. I'm sorry, it brings a little moment of creepiness. Can't bring my teddy bear to work with me. He's already at work, my husband. You work with your husband? Marissa, that's really cute. Unless she works from home and her husband is like across in his section of the house working from home in his office area. But if you work with your husband, that's really cute. I love that. I do. I love to see a good team. Husband and wife teams. I've only been blessed. Of course, you know about ones that don't work out because, I think that's a lot. There's a lot happening there. But husband and wife teams that work out and they're like, just powering through and they're a great example. I love to see it. Shout out to our good friend over there in England. Chris Woodworth, friend to the show. He just joined in. He just walked in the door. Listen, they're saying teddy bears provide comfort and things like that. So my little son, my 10-year-old, since he was a little baby, he's been collecting and collecting. We call them stuffies, the stuffed animals. Till this day, he drains me every time we go somewhere. He's got to buy a stuffy. He loves stuffies. So my children's room is overrun with stuffies. I've given huge big garbage bags full of stuffies away and can't get through it. And I've got in the storage more bags of stuffies. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So what I'll do with all the other stuffies that are not inside of the house, I'm going to wash them and donate them for the holiday season. That's what we're going to do. So if you're always wondering, like, when will we get your 10-year-old? Buy him a stuffy. He'll be grateful. Anyway, next on the day, Cotton says, Cotton, what'd you say? It went away. Tasha, you make my morning. Really? You guys like you guys all like the morning portion? Good morning. Thank you. I received that. Thank you so much. I was concerned. I was like, does anybody want to hear my little raspy voice in the morning time? My morning time voice is not the same as my nighttime voice. My morning, I'm getting warmed up. My morning time voice is cold. I like the real life teddy bears now. I like a good man with some meat on his bones that I can squeeze and hug up. I like a good teddy bear too. Elisha says, get that checked because I was going through the same thing and found out I have pulmonary disease. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know what all of that means, but you kind of spooked me there for a minute. I'm not even gonna lie, Elisha. What is pulmonary disease? Is that the heart? Like heart disease? Pulmonary. Pulmonary is the heart, right? Chris Woodward says, this the morning show or the night show? Good morning, Chris. In the U.S., it is where I live, it is 5:10 a.m. And this is the Natasha Simona sequence, a.m. So good morning from America to England. I know it's the afternoon now. It's officially reached the afternoon over in England. Oh, pulmonary's the lungs. Yeah. Well, good morning to everybody walking in the building. I don't know if you necessarily want me to blow up your spot, but I will. Hello. Good morning, Rick Party. Rick Party just joined the party. Good morning, Rick Party. Isaac Hayes just joined the party. Good morning. Shout out to the room. Shout out to the room, you guys. So glad to see the two handsome bald men. We've got dark chocolate that walked in, aka Isaac Hayes. Hello, and we've got light caramel chocolate, aka Rick Party. If y'all don't know, Rick Party is as light as paper. But my God, aren't they handsome? They are bald, beautiful, and just banging. Good morning, boys. What did Jay? Somebody said, I thought Isaac Hayes was dead. You are actually right. His father is our ancestor, but his son lives amongst us and is carrying the torch and doing the work for the people. He's doing some great things over there at his company called Fanbase. And, yeah, so Isaac Hayes the third is very much alive. And in speaking of teddy bears, Isaac, you just missed me talking about today is National Teddy Bear Day. Isaac, if you are available, you want to cam up with me, but you mess up my algorithm sometimes because Facebook, Instagram don't like you. But Isaac, if you've got 2 minutes that you want to cam up with, I hope you're wearing a sweatshirt this morning because I just finished talking about today is National Teddy Bear Day, and in the name of it being National Teddy Bear Day, and you, sir, are a teddy bear. Cam up for the people. Let's check in on you. Let's see how your crowd funding is going. Isaac is, he says, I'm not dressed. Neither is my teddy bears over there. Hello? Not all teddy bears wear clothes. Why? Oh, shoot. I got my taco meat out. Well, baby. Let me take a little bit of my face serum and just wipe it all over your taco meat. Good morning, Isaac. Let me chill, because I don't know if Isaac got a girlfriend. She gonna jump through the screen and be like, Natasha, don't be talking about bad like that, girl. It is all good. We good. We good. We good over here, okay, sis? He like a brother. Next on the list, National Emergency Nurses Day. Do I have any nurses in the building? Do I have any nurses in the building? Gotta get this little thing together here. Tosh, what was that snout? I don't know. That snout wasn't snouting. Gotta reformulate the snout. I'm too dry. National Emergency National Nurses Day. If you are a nurse in the building, if you are watching me live, oh, my best friend from high school is in the building. Shout out to Miss Sarita. She raised her hand. She is absolutely a nurse. So, Nisa, today is National Emergency Nurses Day. I'm not sure why they tacked on the emergency, but I'm going to assume on the smart side of my brain that this means that they're honoring nurses of the emergency room. Hello? And let's see what it says here. National Emergency Nurses Day is on the second Wednesday in October. It recognizes the dedication of ER nurses, like we just said, across the nation, and it takes place during Emergency Nurses Week. So this is a whole week dedicated to emergency room nurses. But I'm going to go out even further and say shout out to all of the nurses beyond the emergency room. You actually, the nurses work harder than the doctors. I think nurses get undermined and dismissed a lot because, you know, they're looked at as like, oh, you didn't want to go to medical school, huh? You little floozy. So you became a nurse. And I think that is so disrespectful. If you are in the medical profession in any facet, you are equally as important as your cohorts and everybody in the medical field. You all have a job that helps each other one way or another. So, let's stop shamming nurses. First of all, let me see something. Something just scrolled across my phone. Let me read that real quick. Okay. Nothing of importance that I need to talk about. So let me just read you what they have here. Isaac says nurses are the finest women in the game. Isaac, not you faking a sickness just to be up in the emergency room to see the nurses. Hello, Isaac? They'll be like, sir, you were just here yesterday. Your fever is normal. You don't even have a fever. Your body temperature is normal. You're very healthy. He's like, well, baby. Emergency room nurses are the first people we see when we have an accident or a medical emergency. The nurses are literally the first. When you roll up to the emergency room, I remember when I was rushed to the emergency room and they opened the back of that emergency door and they pushed the damn stretcher out. The nurses were the first people there, not the doctor. It was the nurse. Nurses, actually. The doctor came moseying on in. Good morning, Carolyn. Carolyn is my big sister / mentor / rein it in. She will grab me by the back of my neck and be like, and she's very sweet with her message. I just want to say, I see you. And we're going to figure this out. She's got a very, listen, that Boricua will come out. But she starts off very sweet. I love Carolyn. Everybody needs a Carolyn in your life. Back to Emergency Nurses Day. Shout out to the room. Shout out to all the nurses in here. Every wherever you work, whatever kind of nursing you have to do, thank you for the work that you do. Nurses are really underappreciated. So we'll leave it at that. Let's get back to the national days. Today is also National Take Your Parents to Lunch Day. This might be sensitive to some people as they are not able to take their parents to lunch, whether you moved away and your parents live far away or your parents are now amongst the ancestors. Today is National Take Your Parents to Lunch Day. So if you are able to take your parents to lunch, take time out and do that. We are of a crowd here of certain ages, respectfully. And, in the full circle realm of things, of life, life does what it does and it pushes us on to the next phase of where we got to go. So while you still have your parents and you're able, take them out to lunch. Here's another alternative. This is straight from the dome. If you can call your parents, but you can't take them out, call them on the phone or call them on the FaceTime and just eat with them over the phone or something like that. And just have a meal with your parents. That's what we're going to do. They got a how to observe take your parents. Do I need to read this to you? No, I don't. Moving on. Rosa says she's about to call. Shout out to Rosa's baby. I just want to sidebar on Rosa's baby. She's from New York. She lives not far from my hometown area. And she visits my father's restaurant and she goes by it and, I talk about these things and she's like, oh, I know where that is. And she sent me a couple of pictures. And one of the pictures she sent me yesterday was of my father's restaurant. I was like, oh. It made me happy and sad at the same time. Like I was happy to feel like I was there. You know what I'm saying? And it made me sad because it's like now I want to open the door and say, hi, Daddy. Hello. All right. It is National Curves Day. National Curves Day. You heard me right. CURVES. So to all of my curvy brothers and sisters in the building, hello. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to us because I am definitely amongst the curvy community. Excuse me. Today is National Curves Day. Today is the day where we're going to recognize our body, limit body shamming and so on and so forth, and recognize that curves are real and we just need to embrace them. So maybe I need to put up a photo accentuating my curves. Shout out to the curves. Last but not least, we're going to talk about this. This is what happens when you don't really have your ish prepared properly. It's all good. It's right here. It's right here. Good morning, everybody. It's 20 minutes after the hour. 20 minutes after the hour. thick thighs do save lives, but right now it is 20 minutes after the hour. So I need all of you to get it together, brush your teeth, get out the house, tell the car in front of you, move! I got ish to do. I gotta get to work. If you're on the West Coast, you're like, damn, why is this girl so loud at 5 o'clock in the morning? It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Where you gonna be? Outside on the corner. You better get yourself together. Let's go. It's 21 minutes after the hour. Let's go. Today is National Stop Bullying Day. It is National Stop Bullying Day. I need, these are my favorite headphones, but Jesus, Christmas tree, it gets a little sweaty up under here. I think I'm gonna need I gotta see if there's some kind of other material that's not this material, because I hate the feeling it gets me. I just don't like that feeling. It's almost 8:30 on the East Coast. Yep, because it is 20 minutes after the hour, everybody. No matter where you are in the entire planet right now, it is 22 minutes after the hour. Whatever hour that is for you, get to it. Ha, ha, ha. All right. National Stop Bullying Day. Let me tell you something. Bullying will always be a near and dear topic to me, because growing up, I definitely experienced bullying in the worst way for me. And we're not here to compare whose bullying story is worst than the next. Bullying in all formats, it's unacceptable, and it's really unfair. And I'm being bullied till this day as a grown ass adult. So, I don't know if I'm going to talk about it or not, but I do want to touch on something. But what I will say with bullying is, as I've gotten older and, gone through therapy for other things and learning how to manage other issues, one thing with bullying, I realized that the bulliers are the ones who you should really feel sorry for. You obviously feel sorry for the person who's being bullied, because they're receiving a treatment that is just unwarranted and just unjust and hurtful. And, bullying goes beyond, oh, your hair is ugly or your shirt is ugly. Bullying, can get really extreme, and people have been killed in the process of being bullied, and so on and so forth, been fired, been removed out of spaces, all types of things. And, from a young child, I've been bullied from all kinds of things. The way I spoke, I was always bigger than everybody, bigger because I ran track. I had a muscular body, and they would make fun of that. They used to pull my hair. They tried to set my hair on fire. Oh yeah, I went through it. So my mom used to be at my school all the time trying to protect me. Let me see something here. JB Cook says one of my young clients committed suicide because of bullying. Yeah, bullying is not a conversation to take lightly whatsoever. I don't stand for it, and I'm very, very sensitive towards my children as well, because obviously I was bullied. So now that I'm a mom, I'm like, are you being bullied? As we get older and we know better and we actively choose to be bullies, bullying is taught. So when you see these children bullying each other, that is an issue that is being taught to them. That is where manipulation starts at that age. Alicia says it was a boy who bullied me. I was so scared of him. He told me he was going to beat me up after school. You guys want a good story? I don't know how good it is, but I'll tell you a story. Well, when I was in middle school, because I'd been bullied from starting from elementary school for all kinds of things. It started on your hair and try to set my hair on fire. Okay. Then there was, all kinds of crazy stuff in elementary school. Then we get to middle school and the bullying just, increased. And, it went beyond, oh, your hair, or oh, you think you're perfect. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. Oh, you speak this way. Oh, you live in a house. Oh, and it was all, you know what? It was always the kids who wanted something that you have or had. And it was weird to me, because it was like, I didn't make this decision to live in that kind of house. Do you know what I'm saying? I didn't move. I'm not grown enough to move myself there. I live there because that's where my parents live. Like, why are you mad at me? I didn't do nothing. I just want to come here and chill. Like, I want to be everybody's friend. Like, I was that kid. I just want to be everybody's friend. A lot of my friends were Caucasian, so the African American children used to hate that about me. They were like, it was just, you name it, and I got bullied for it. It was to the point where I used to have lunch in the counselor's office because they would heckle me so bad. And it was really sad because I'm like, I don't even do anything. And my friends, my friends who saw everything, they would try to stick up for me, and it was a really big deal. To the point where I really just did not want to go to school anymore. So one day, and I'm not a fighter. I don't fight by default. Like, my first instinct isn't I'm gonna beat you up at all. So I just took it. I just let them bully me and let them do all kinds of crazy shit to me. Steal my clothes, steal my sneakers. Oh my God. So one day I'm walking in the cafeteria. I think it was like 7th grade or something like that. I don't remember. It's middle school, anywhere between 6th and 8th grade. And I'm walking in the cafeteria and I have my tray in my hand. And this girl walks over to me and she she walks in my direction and she stops in front of me. So every time I try to move, she would move. Now, remember middle school, you're holding your tray and, you're holding it like this and you don't want your food to fall over. And she's standing and she keeps like doing this dodging thing, moving and all that stuff. And next thing you know, she flipped my tray in the garbage, but obviously it didn't all go in the garbage. This is not TV. She just kind of flipped it over. And so some got in the garbage, some majority of it got all over me and on the floor and everything. Well, this is in the middle of the cafeteria, cafeteria row. You got the tables on both sides and in the middle is open and they've got the garbages lined up. They've got like 8 garbages lined up kind of thing. And everybody, you have it's like the aisle. Okay. You guys all see that visual? Man, it was in that moment, that my life really changed and how I allowed people to treat me. I beat her ass. This is a true story. I beat the brakes off her ass. Well, remember middle school, they see a fight. Fight. And that was the first time I ever beat somebody up. And we get brought into the principal's office and, because I was beating the brakes off her ass, they're reprimanding me more. Well, as you can imagine, I was sitting there and I was like, you ain't about to talk to me like this. So I said, don't speak to me until you call my mother. And they're like, you can't tell us what to do. I said, I'll walk up out of here. I'll walk out this building and walk home. I said, you better call my mom or else I'll call the police. Oh, I wasn't playing. Cause at that point I'd been bullied starting from 2nd grade and now we're in middle school. It's a long time, right? And back then when I was in middle school, talking about mental health and stuff like that wasn't a thing. Nobody mentioned mental health. Nobody cared. They didn't give a damn about kids' mental health. So I was like, I'm not opening my mouth until my mom comes. So my mom comes. And of course, the story they gave her, your daughter was in a fight. So my mom, she's like, my daughter was in a fight. My daughter doesn't fight. So she came to the school. If you know my mom, she was very poised. My mom speaks very proper. It's like I need her to dig in her bag. And she speaks very, very proper. And she's got a little bit of an accent, so it sounds a little British kind of thing happening there. She's speaking to them, and she goes, I don't believe my daughter started the fight. Let's rewind the tapes. I don't know what they said. I don't know if they looked at the cameras or whatnot. But whatever decision they made, by default, they said they had to suspend me for like some amount of days or whatever. And she goes, okay, that's your decision. I'm going to go to the Board of Education. We left the school and went to the Board of Education, and the young lady who incited the fight was suspended for like a month or something crazy. Fast forward there, I started fighting my bullies. I became a fighter. From that moment, I started fighting. Because, are you going to call my mom to the school every time? Is somebody in the school going to do something because these people are bothering me and I gotta do what I gotta do? So the next situation that happened, I was on the bus, and we used to take the public transportation to school, but they were like dedicated public buses, but nonetheless it's a public bus. And they used to call me an Oreo, by the way. That was one of the most horrible things they used to say. You're an Oreo. You're an Oreo. I didn't even know what it was. So they used to say, you speak so perfect and all that stuff. You're an Oreo. Look at you. You're an Oreo. Look at your hair. Look at this. Look at that. So one day, we're sitting on the bus on the way to school. It's early morning. And I used to sit in the front, all the way in the front, because I felt safe in the front, because the bullies would be in the back. So I'm sitting there. We're not far from the school. We were actually not far from the school. You know when you go through certain parts of trauma in your life, you can actually remember it like it happened like an hour ago. Do you know what I'm saying? And I remember us pulling up to like the block before the school, and it was right on Pine Brook Boulevard as we were about to make the right up. What's the name of that little piece of a street to go on to? I used to go to Albert Leonard Middle School. Well, anyway, the bus is sitting there at the light, about to make the left to go up the hill. And I felt, boom, on the back of my head. Somebody threw something at me. And it hurt. So I look at the thing. And I pick it up, and it's an Oreo. Remember I told you they used to call me an Oreo. So they threw an Oreo at me. So I turn around and, everybody's cackling in the back and all that stuff. Well, this is after the first fighting incident. I got up. I walked to the back. I said, who threw this at me? And everybody's sitting there laughing. Because at this point, everybody's kind of used to me not doing anything, that now it's like, it's fun to provoke her. And there was only that one fighting incident. So now it's even more fun. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to do anything. This is funny. And all it took was one person to point to a boy like this, like this, and pointed to the boy that did it. Well, the boy that threw the Oreo at me, he was taller than me. He was bigger than me, played football. And when I tell you, I did not care. I dropped my bags and I punched him right in the face. And then what happened after that? I took his head, and on the bus there were these poles, the poles that you hold on to. Well, there was a pole going up and down, and I smashed his face right into that. At this point, we are pulling up to the school. And the bus driver had already radioed to security that there's a fight on the bus. Now, there's no bus monitor or anything like that. Middle school, and we're on a public bus. And so the bus driver cannot see what's going on. He just hears the melee in the back. So we pull up to the school, and the bus driver releases the back doors, and security rushes on the bus. And when they pulled me off of this boy, he was bleeding from the top of his head all the way down his face. And they looked at me, and they looked at him on the floor, and they looked around, and everybody was like, he started it. He was fighting her. He threw X, Y, Z on her, and she came back here and punched him in the face. And there was play by play. And they said, but he started it, and he hit her, and the security. Now there's 2 security officers on the bus. And they looked at me, and they looked at him, and they looked at him bleeding. He's bleeding from the top of his, because remember, I smashed his face in the thing. And they looked, and they said to him, they said, you were fighting a girl? And they picked him up and like threw him off the bus, and they said, go to the nurse's office and clean up. You're getting expelled. So I go to the principal's office again, and they call my mom. And here comes my mom rolling up to the school. And she said, if you all do not do something to protect my daughter, I am going to make sure that you make the news. Then we go, and she goes, you better not even think about suspending her. They did not. Fight number 2. So fast forward, my mom made sure that the rest of my academic experience in middle school, was not riddled with bullying and fighting and all those things, and she did the best that she could. I don't think there was any more fights after that. I think once I beat the brakes off of this guy, everybody was like, we ain't messing with Tasha. We are not effing with this girl. So I don't think I think that was the last fight in middle school. Now, once I got to high school, now you're coming in as a 9th grader, as a freshman, and then you got the older kids, and now they done heard stories about you. This particular fight, is circulated. You know what I'm saying? It's circulated, and now you get to high school and people are like, yo, that's the girl that will mess you up. So of course you get taunted a lot more because people want to push your buttons and everything. You know what I'm saying? Well, in high school, all bets were off. It was fair game. It was over with for Natasha. I was beating people up in high school because now I realized that my voice was not doing anything, and the bullying increased and intensified, and it was horrible. My experience in high school was horrible, and I think that's why I really didn't want to spend much time in that place. I'm like, all I want to do is get through the basics of what I got to do here, and then I want to go down to the city and stand outside of WBLS and Hot 97 and actually at the time with MTV buildings and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? I had absolutely no interest in high school because I realized that my voice isn't being heard. You guys are not doing anything to protect the children that are being bullied. The school stuff is for the birds. So let me get through my English class. This is the only class I passed was English and science. Hello? And all I did was study, the different broadcasters. I used to bring my Walkman to school and listen to the radio all day long. Malika Millette, I feel like she was on in the afternoons, and then Deja over there, who's still holding the torch at BLS, and then you had, Wendy Williams, of course, but she was on later, and the list goes on and on and on. You had Ann Tripp in the morning, and all. Let me tell you something. Once I got to high school, I was so turned off. I felt totally unsafe, and all I wanted to do was what I wanted to do. And, you just never know when these children, when the younger generation is going through things and we do not protect them and take care of them, we don't know what happens. And I think I just told you here, you know what I'm saying? All of this started from middle school. And by the time I got to an age of understanding where I want to be and what I want to do, I was like, these people here suck. Mean people suck. So anybody that messed with me in high school, I just beat their ass and got suspended. I'm being honest with you, because I couldn't take it anymore. So my mother was like, I'm just so tired of going up to this goddamn school for her. She's fighting everybody that's bullying her. I'm like, Mom, what do you want me to do? And she's like, just walk away. I said, walk away from somebody that's putting their hands on me? Are you absolutely crazy? No. If they're not going to do anything, I'm going to do something. And then I was running track, and so my coach got involved, and he's like, you can't keep missing school like this. You can't keep fighting. I can't keep you on the team like this. And I'm like, well, somebody needs to do something. So shout out to New Rochelle High School, who did nothing. Y'all are the real MVP. So I'll never forget, we were supposed to go to Florida. And I get suspended like a few days before we were supposed to go to Florida. My dad came to the school now. My dad shows up to the school. I'm sitting there in the office, and he just looked at me and he's like, daughter, what happened? I was like, I'm sick of this shit. My dad does not like to curse. So I'm really sick of this shit. He's like, I know. He's like, you're not in trouble. He's like, your mom, on the other hand, he's like, I don't know what she's going to say, but you're not in trouble with me. He's like, let's just get you out of here and let's go eat. I had a rough time in high school. So they suspended me for like 5 days, but the 5 days they suspended me for, we were on vacation. So it was a joke. There wasn't no real counseling back then in high school and all that stuff. You had the counselors, but my counselor, she's dead now. She was horrible. I had the most horrible counselor in high school. Holy Christ. She's probably the reason I barely walked out the door. My mom was like, that's not nice. She's dead. What the fuck you want me to do? Can you guys visibly see me getting upset? Are you guys watching the transformation? I'm visibly just getting angry thinking about it. Oh, Tasha, be nice. For what? So, I'm not going to bore you with any more stories. I think I just pretty much walked you through just how that was. So as an adult, I don't take bullying lightly. I'm being bullied to this day, and I was going to talk about something, but I gotta talk to my people behind the scenes on how I'm going to deliver this story. So keep a watch on the evening edition of the Natasha Simona sequence, but I definitely am going to speak about something. It's really unfortunate, but I am being bullied. It's actually being publicly displayed, and it's really gross. And I don't take lightly to bullying in any format. Children, adults, family. Bullying will drive people off the ledge, and I will say that. So be kind. Pay attention to starting from the youth, because I just walked you through where all of this stemmed. I'm being advised to talk about it. Shout out to the room. It's 42 minutes after the hour. 42 minutes after the hour. Let's hit the question box for a minute. Lane, who's this? One doc to you says, why do you think you were bullied? You want to know something? I don't know. I don't know. As an adult, having gone through like therapy and really just understanding, where the crux of the bullying and all that stuff comes from, I'm going to assume that bullying, for me, since the question was addressed to me, when people are jealous and envious of the things you have and the access and all of those things, they lack their own articulation on how to, say, hey, I wish I could have that, or I wish I was doing that. Do you know what I'm saying? And so when I was younger, when I was in elementary school being bullied, the things in which they were bullying me for were my things. So, when you show up to show and tell and you're bringing a special toy, when you show up with an outfit, or your hair is a different way, a certain way, or whatever, you have a book bag, those are the things that they were bullying me over. And then when you get older and you go to middle school, those things become a little bit more glamorous, and you're talking more. So I used to get made fun of how I spoke. A lot of the things in which as I got older, I was bullied for how I talked, she talks like a white girl. She sounds like this, and she thinks she's perfect, and her hair, I had curly hair. So I asked my mom to perm my hair when I was younger, because I didn't want curly hair anymore, because I was like, maybe this isn't the hair I should have. And then, all that stuff. Or, I used to tell my mom, stop putting me in these nice clothes for school. I want to go shop at like VIM or something like that. I want to look like the other kids. And so, I used to get made fun of the clothes I wore. And, I grew up in a house, and, the other kids who grew up in the projects would be like, oh, you grew up in a house, and they threatened to burn my house down. Oh my God. When they set my hair on fire, that hurt. Literally. Actually, my head was not engulfed in flames. They tried to set it on fire, and in their attempt to set it on fire, there's the pulling and the tugging, and then, somebody brought a lighter to school. So of course that, was very scary. Like you're flinching and you're scared, and, all of those things happen. So, they cut my clothes with scissors. They stole my jeans, and they stole my sneakers, and oh my God, come on. They would steal my hair. I'd have like the hair barrettes and all those things. So why do I think they did those things? It's probably because they were jealous. I don't know. I don't really know how to really answer that fully, but I think bullying breeds from jealousy in all phases and ages. Jay says, oh, what did I do here? Where's the thing? Where's the message? I didn't stutter. Before I got bullied. I developed a speech problem because of being bullied. There's so much. Shout out to Auntie Melba. Auntie Melba Moore is in the building. Good morning. Shout out to the room. Shout out to everybody in here. Shout out to all of the silent viewers. Thank you so much for being here. And shout out to everybody participating in the chat. Yeah, so, listen. Let's read some of these comments as I see it scrolling through. You were assaulted. That's a damn crime. Yep. You know what? Listen, it was definitely a different time period. Mental health was not something that was like actively promoted. And, I would say that the school system back then definitely failed myself and other children that was subjected to this behavior. And when I started retaliating and I started fighting, they wanted to reprimand me along with the people who essentially forced me into that position and situation. And, I'm grateful at the time, my younger sister, my mother's second child, she is 8 years younger than me. So my mom was a stay-at-home mom for a good portion of my schooling because, she was home with my baby sister. So that really, I don't know what I would have done if she was at work, because she was a big advocate, not as big as I needed her to be, because my mom is also like on some like keep the peace, she'll fight with the system kind of thing. Like, oh, you're not doing anything for me, I'm going to go to the Board of Ed. Oh, the Board of Ed, I feel like you're being subpar. Okay, let me go to the local news. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, my mom did it that way. Meanwhile, I'm like, will somebody come and beat the brakes off of these? Oh, nobody is coming. So then when I started fighting, that's when people wanted to be like, well, I think Natasha has a problem. No, you guys are driving her crazy. Thank God I didn't do anything crazy to myself to just make this all go away. But nonetheless, we're here. And, I'm a big advocate to, eradicate the bullying in our schools and, just period. In my adult life, I absolutely face bullying, but you handle it a little differently. And even present day, I'm being faced with bullying. Internet bullying is a real deal. And people think that bullying is just a certain set of words. It's not. It's the things in which you say, things in which you're inciting to insinuate, I'm being coached to talk about it right now, and I would rather formulate my thoughts on this a little better, so I definitely will talk about this on my evening show. So tune in later and let me just get my thoughts right. But I am being bullied by a set of people that it's really ridiculous at this point, and it's something that I've been talking about to some people behind the scenes on how we should go forward. Like, hey, do I have to get legal? Because I will. I'm not shy of including my lawyer. Because what you're not going to do is ever play with me. I've been through a lot in my life. And as we get to know each other, I am very open on my life that I think will help everybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind sitting up here and speaking to you all about things in which I've gone through or going through if I know that it's going to help us as a whole. Let me see what Rick says. We got to see this. Excuse me. Talk about how you as a black woman is being publicly bullied as a black man by a black man on social media, and more women need to come to your defense by telling him to stop taking jabs. Yep. Yeah, I am being bullied by a black man and other black women, actually. And it is really, really sad. And, now I don't want to say I'm being silenced, but I've been told to ignore it. But in the day and age that we live in now, where the internet is our source, defamation is a real thing, defamation of character and all those things. So I am being currently bullied, but respectfully, Rick, I really, there's some other things that we need to talk about that we haven't been able to touch base on that I will reserve, because I do need to talk to you and a couple of other people. And I will talk about it on this evening's show, but it is a real situation that is currently happening, and enough is enough. And people need to keep my name out of their mouths. They need to stop inciting and insinuating their own stories and their narratives to make it seem like I'm over here doing anything. Because as you all know, shout out to the room, shout out to everybody that's here. You all know that, we keep it sunny and 70 over here. We talk about a whole bunch of things. And, unfortunately, when people don't know how to move forward with life, when people do not recognize their own light, because their light is probably not shining bright at all, they use other people's names and other people's lives to shit on, to have to elevate themselves. And that is the crux of bullying. So hold on, let's get into these comments, because I'm seeing your comments and not acknowledging them. So let's not move the whole apparatus here, Natasha. I'm Antoinette and Anointed says, I'm sorry you're being bullied then and now. I truly apologize for those who won't. I'm so sorry. I appreciate that. Chanel says, the fact that women sat and saw what was being done to you and still support is a whole nother conversation. Absolutely. But you want to know something in the name? I don't tell people what to do. You got to move and do what you feel is necessary for you, but nonetheless, keep my name out of your fucking mouth. Hello? I said it just like that. Rick Party says, yes, it's ridiculous. Maybe a different measure needs to be taken. Absolutely. I feel like it can be ignored for so long. Absolutely. Zap says, people be getting involved in too much stuff that don't have anything to do with themselves. I agree. Auntie Melba says, just block the black man or woman. They are blocked. And that's the problem. Queen B says, I'm sorry, when they go low, I go lower. Sometimes when people go low, we go to hell. If you're being bullied, then let people know we're grown and it can be handled. Absolutely. Shout out to the room. Focus on your own intentions. Auntie Melba, you know what? People will show you their true colors. It's one of those things. Welcome home with Stephanie. Okay, Stephanie says that sounds like he has narcissistic behaviors. Let me tell you something. Textbook narcissism is all that I can speak from, right? So when you see people behaving a certain way, you're like, that's textbook definition of, narcissism, things like that, so on and so forth. I am not clinically able to diagnose anybody, but I will say that certain behaviors do reflect textbook narcissism. And I'm really grateful for this bubble of people that have wrapped their arms around me in this portion of my life to really just keep me elevated and in a space where I'm not, addressing everything. Because trust and believe, if I had to address everything, every single show would be, no, I'm not in a season of clearing shit up. However, we have to understand the world in which we live in. So, I always say to you, when I get on my microphone, when I sit in my studio space that I have here in my home, I will use this space responsibly. Okay? And one of the things that I will not allow is for anyone to continue to tarnish, because this is the internet and I'm over here building my career brick by brick, inch by inch. And so in the name of being able to click and find and source and hear and do all those things, I have to make sure that my name is protected. And defamation of character is more real today than anything, because when you allow people who allow others to feel like they know you more, or they know a situation more, or they spin stories, then you almost lose a bit of your credibility based on whatever this person is deciding to say, depending on their level of access. Now, if you're dealing with smart people, then smart people would be like, there's some inconsistencies here, and that person sounds like they're talking a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Now, the thing with me is, I will always have receipts, whether it's a text message or email or some type of recording or something like that. I will always have receipts. So when I got to come out and say something, trust and believe, this is the step right before I have to produce some receipts. Auntie Melba says, the more you talk about it, the more power you give that person. Silence is golden. I do believe in silence being golden, but at some point when you stay silent and people are still publicly bullying you and, doing these things to diminish your character, defamation of character, I don't play with that. And so, while I am silent and I do move forward and we do move and we do what we do over here because we're not worried about anything or anybody else, when things are being said that can absolutely hold a little bit of weight, although that person holds no weight, it's one of those things where I'm like, when I look at me building and rebuilding the audience that I did build, that was taken, and that person is tarnishing my name to an audience that I spent time taking to grow and build and really pour into, I can't stand for it. So, I'm going to say here publicly, you need to keep my name out of your mouth. This is a direct message to my former showmate. Please keep my name out of your mouth and keep your narratives over there. Every single show that you've done, you do not need to speak about me. You don't need to incite any stories, because trust and believe, I have receipts. So the more you talk, the bigger hole you're digging for yourself. And if I have to start producing receipts and call a lawyer, if you really want to play that game, because you still haven't called my phone, but every single show that you've done, you have some way, somehow talked about me. And now you have 2 black women sitting on your platform who don't know me that heckle and cackle. So I just want to say thank you to the people that feel it necessary to send me these messages. Thank you. You send me parts that you think is necessary. I do appreciate that. But at the end of the day, I can't keep sitting up here addressing children. These are grown people. I don't know these women at all. This other woman that he has on there, I don't know her from a hole in the wall. But the fact that she sits there and pretends that she knows me and all those things, it's very weird, because this is also a woman that talks about uplifting black women. I don't know her. So I would never sit here and speak bad about her. And as of a matter of fact, you've never seen me say anything bad about her. And for a man to go on and, say all these horrible things, does that man really support black women, or does he use black women against each other? And so I think the bigger conversation is realizing that when people are trying to triangulate and they're trying to spin a narrative, this is all a form of bullying. And the name of it being today is National Stop Bullying Day. While everybody's saying, Tasha, don't address that. They're small. You don't have. What I am addressing is the fact that I will not continue to allow people like them or him to continue to incite bullshit on my name. So yeah, I'm definitely mentioning it. I'll go further into it later because there's more that's developing, and it is to a point where I have gotten legal advice, because this is defamation of character. And as I sit here and I build myself and I'm, building my platforms, I have a morning show and an evening show. It's one of those things where it's like, keep my name out of your mouth. If you have no content, then just gracefully bow out until you can figure out your footing. Do you know what I'm saying? If you have nothing to talk about, then keep my name out of your mouth, because the more you talk about me and the more bullshit you spew out there, I don't have to fight fire with fire. I'll just call somebody bigger than me to handle what they need to handle, and I'll go legal, because I don't play these games. So, that's that. More developing, because somebody again, I can't see, he blocked me, so he'll talk shit about me, but you block me but talk about me every single day. You got something to say about me. Sir, grow up. You're 51 years old, and it is very childish and petty that you not only keep my name in rotation, in circulation, in your mouth, but now you have these 2 women on your show, and whatever infiltration you've done in their minds to make them believe that I'm this evil person, listen, your conversations have nothing to do with me, but it is quite obvious that you have tarnished their mind to believe any and everything you said. Ladies, I was in that position too. I'm pretty sure everything that you're doing, I did too. If you want to compare notes, I'm pretty sure it'll look like we've all been given the same script. But nonetheless, I have nothing to say about these two ladies because I don't know them. So I'm not going to sit there and roll my eyes and, the women on his show does that. But I will, when people come to me and, I know a lot of people still watch that show. This is the internet. You watch whatever you want, whether you want to come hang out with me in the morning or the evenings. I'm grateful. If you want to stay over there exclusively, that has nothing to do with me. We all have televisions and we all know the TV has about 300 channels, right? Don't we all have like a bunch of channels on our TV? And sometimes we get to some, sometimes we get to others. That's just the way things go. I will never divide people's minds and make people come over here. I want you to be here because you want to be here, if you know what I'm saying. Hello? And so with that said, I will leave it at that. I do have more conversations that do need to happen because of the shit that keeps developing. And now it's more about being tactical and how to, this. And again, we're talking about people older than me. We're talking about people in their 50s. My ex-partner, we're talking about a man. And for a man to continuously, put a woman down, that's kind of weird to me. Like, I'm not in competition. You're not competition to me. First of all, I'm not in competition with anybody. I'm not in a race with anybody. You understand? This is a big world of varying opportunities for all of us to go and grab it. It's up to us to put in the work. So, he said it live that, I helped him find his voice. You're welcome. Just like I was able to learn certain things, he, introduced me to, minimal people. I know that he makes it seem like, he did all this stuff for me, but, you all have been here hanging out. I know what I'm doing over here. But nonetheless, it's one of those things where I'm not fighting for numbers. I'm not fighting for an audience. I'm actually not fighting for anything. I'm fighting for you to keep my name out of your mouth. Rick said, you're being bullied by a senior. Well, can somebody tell me what age a senior citizens start at this point? Being bullied by a 51-year-old man on the internet is probably the wildest thing in the world. Like everybody in here can contest. I'm over here. I'm in my little corner of the country in my little home studio, minding my business and growing my show. I don't need to talk about anything I don't need to talk about people to build my show. I don't need to step on the backs of another woman. I don't need to step on the back of a man to elevate myself. What I need to do is put one foot in front of the other on solid ground and do the work that is necessary for myself. So listen, whether you watch me exclusively, you watch him, or you watch both, that is not my decision to make for you. And it is never going to be something I would ever tell anybody to do. But what I will say publicly, Chad, keep my name out of your mouth. Keep my name out of your mouth. Keep all of your stories and your inciting of things. Just knock it off. I haven't spoken to you since the 14th. You're a big boy. You could have called me, but you didn't. You have used your microphone irresponsibly for the last 2 weeks. And all you do is you keep bringing me up. You bring up Rick Party. You bring up things in which we did. And it's one of those things where enough is enough. If you do not have content, maybe you should take a break. But at the end of the day, you need to stop inciting and insinuating and speaking of me in these very ill, lying, deceitful ways, because you have crossed a realm of defamation, because the things in which you're speaking of is not true. And if you want to produce receipts, and I could produce receipts, and you want to do this, listen, you can use your platform for that. If that's how you choose to utilize your time on the internet, good for you. But I'm telling you right now, I don't play these games at all. So keep my name out of your fucking mouth. Okay? With that said, everybody, it is 4 minutes after the hour. Today is Wednesday, October 12th. The biggest day that we're going to highlight today on national days is Stop Bullying Day. All of that to say, if you are being bullied, if you have a child being bullied, if you have a friend or a family member that is being bullied in your life, definitely pay attention. We know someone in here shared that their client actually committed suicide. Bullying is very real. Bullying will take a toll on people if not addressed and handled appropriately. Bullying is not a joke. And as we expand in technology and just in the world in which we live in, it is no longer bullying on the schoolyard. It goes beyond that. You know, we have the internet and we all know about internet bullying and things like that. So definitely pay attention. I'm going to address the question box. Bryson says, Natasha, what's the next step for you on your next journey? We're in it, baby. We're in it. This is the step. The next step from here is the networks. Hello. Let's see. Queen Bee says, Tosh, you are loved, blessed, and highly favored. Thank you so much. Sweet Mama Midnights. You gotta tone your voice down a little bit. Sweet Mama Midnight says, I think it was bullying and abuse. Yup. What's the bully's handle? Queen Bee says, what's the bully's handle? I'm coming for them. I'll let the people in the room give you the handle. And who says this? Resume workshop, I want to say. Did you have any friends that advocated for you? Talk about when I was younger on the schoolyard. I did, but you know, the administration, they don't listen to kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, they do and they don't. And it was one of those things where I definitely needed higher authority and power to cease the situations that were going on. And sometimes that's just what it is. So it's one of those things where you having advocates is great. You know, whether it's children or your coworkers or whatever the case is, but even in that, you need higher authority at times, if you know what I'm saying. So if that means, you know, you're an adult, you're being bullied at work or whatever, you might need to get a lawyer involved. You might need to involve law enforcement, things like that. You know, so having advocates is great, but sometimes you gotta go higher. Let me see. I was trying to scroll through and just kind of read some of the comments, but I see I missed a lot. And so, what is this that just popped up on my computer? Okay. Nicole Nick says, I wish everyone would just let it go. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous at this point. And listen, we've moved on over here, but I only address the things when it starts getting like really out of control. Fifi says, honestly, you can tell he misses you. He knows the chemistry he lost and knows he made a rash decision. He should have talked to you more. Girl, please. Nicole Nick says, we love you both, Tosh. I would never support bullying. I appreciate that. I never tell anybody what direction and who, you know, that's not my place to do that. Auntie Melba says, what does being a senior do with it? Tosh and Chad allowed folks to mess up a good show on IG. No, I don't think it was, I don't think anybody was saying senior or not. I think I was making a reference to like, how old are we? How old are you that this is what you're doing? I think that's what it was, Auntie Melba. Yeah, so I'm seeing your messages. I really wish that there was a way that Instagram could allow us to save a lot of these messages. I wish we could save our lives with the messages. Chanel Chance says, you spoke your piece. Now let God handle the rest. I support you. Thank you. You know, let me tell you all something. It is 9 minutes after the hour and we're going to wrap up the show. Too Diva for You says, we're going to keep this train rolling. Yes, we are. Anointed says, people like to say, let it go. It's a process and it ain't easy. We can't ignore nonsense because it will fester and grow. And that's exactly what's happening. Chili P said, or maybe that's not it. I don't have my glasses on. She is, you knew what you were doing. Did I miss something that Rick Party said? Can somebody, you're on fire. Thank you, Ricky. Okay, listen, Screen record to save the messages. Do you know I don't have enough data on my phone? Not data. I gotta free up some space on my phone. Do you know my shows are 90 minutes? Morning show and evening edition are 90 minutes. If I screen record every show, my phone would be like 3. You know what? Maybe I'll try that one day. I don't know. I actually never thought about that. But I'll try that one day. I don't remember who just wrote that, but I will try it one day. I was about to say something, but I forgot. But here we are at the bottom of the show. I do want to thank everybody. Listen, everybody does have an opportunity to speak their piece. We've moved on over here. I've been saying that. I spoke my piece. If you want to go find it, I'm wearing a bright pink shirt and it's entitled "And So It Is." So you can scroll down. I said what I had to say one time because let me tell you something. I talk once. That's about it. I don't do the whole, let's talk again. No. I talk once and that's it. So I said what I had to say and I moved on. And, again, we live in such a different time. We live in an interesting time. So in the name of you pressing forward and moving on, when people still continue to defame your character, you do have to speak up and say something. You don't address every little thing. Cause trust me, if I were to sit on here and address everything, y'all would be like, here we are again. So I've moved on, but as things keep developing with whatever's happening over there, it's just one of those things where it's like, keep my name. Like, do y'all have nothing to talk about? You keep inciting me. You keep talking about me. You talk about all these different things and people are running back to me like, you need to watch this portion. You need to watch this clip. Go to this. Okay. I'm going to screen record it for you. I'm going to send you this. And while I appreciate it, it's like, you can see, the difference in quality. You can see what's happening. And it's like, once and for all, keep my name out of your mouth. Keep my name out of your mouth. I will be addressing this more, and I'm going to see if I can have a professional come on to just kind of break down some psychological things here, and perhaps I'll have a lawyer on to really give me guidance and judgment on where to go. Although I do have a legal team behind me that's ready to like push a button. So and I did put that out there publicly. Rick said I watched this whole show and loved it, but I was also behind the scenes and saw what she went through. As a man, I will never let another man abuse a friend of mine on my watch. Men, we have to protect our women. Ladies, we have to look out for each other, and that's it. Men do not shit on another woman. Men, first of all, we need to get out of our brains that we need to look at another woman and compete with anybody. Men looking at women and feeling like they need to compete. Men looking at women and feeling like, they need to step on the backs of another woman. It's weird. It's all weird to me. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that is very weird behavior. That is low vibrational behavior. And for women to sit in the presence of a man and allow that man to manipulate them to, shit on another woman, that's low vibrational and weird. And again, I'm 37. Maybe I still got a lot to learn, but the way I'm playing this game is we all can eat. We all can grow in our own respective spaces, but I'm also not doing what I do here for, a phase, a fad, a moment. Oh, this is cool. Let me hop on here. No, I'm doing what I'm doing because this is my career. And y'all are going to hear me say that until it is on a t-shirt. This is her career. Stop playing with her. Don't play in my face. I take what I do very seriously. This is not a joke to me. And I will not allow people to feel like they can misuse my name and misuse the work that I produce and do. This is all thought out. This is all a process. This is not let me just wake up and go out here and put out a show. Okay, no. I dedicate real time, real energy, which is why, listen, I've gone for broke to do what I'm doing because I know that it takes the work. It takes all of this to get to where you got to go. And with that said, it is 14 minutes after the hour. There's one more question in the question box. Yvette Terry says, how's 13 doing? 13 is 13 is 13. He's doing all right. He I don't want to go to school, but definitely paying attention to all of those things. So I've got the school involved just to see if we can and test him out and get him to ninth or 10th grade. So we're working on that and seeing what could be done since we're already into the school year. I'm not sure if too much can be done, but I will definitely keep you all posted, and I do appreciate you for checking in. Give me 1 second. Okay, everybody, let me tell you something. Jared, the baby's getting a little bit too close. I know she's coming closer. It's not a girl, it's a boy. You guys, you've never told me what this baby is. I just know it's a baby, and I don't want to get the ashes on the baby's head. Good morning, everybody. She had a good show, didn't she? You know what? They gave me a new pack of cigarettes. I don't know where my other pack of cigarette is. So this one is almost finished, so bear with me. Listen, what do I tell you all? You got to drink your goddamn water and mind your business. A lot of people out here are dehydrated. Their spirits are dehydrated. Their souls are dehydrated. Their brains are dehydrated. And let me tell you something about hydration. I know you all got these hydration tabs, and especially where that Natasha lives. She lives in the Hollywood area, and they got all the IV drips for hydration. Listen, I'm 92 years old, okay? I'm 92 years old, and back in my day, the only thing that gave us proper hydration was water. A lot of users lacking water. A lot of users fogged in the brain, and you're sucking from everything. When you're thirsty, are you all listening to me? When you're thirsty and you go to the fridge and you put crap in your body, you put all the sugar and shit. Marissa, every single day I come on here and I talk and you start to cry. Get Marissa out of the room. Listen, everybody, I'm sitting here and I got all my children, my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren. Get Marissa out of here. She's crying. I can't take it. When you're thirsty and you go and you put the sodas and the juices and all the sugary shit in your body, what happens? It tastes good for a minute, right, everybody? And you put all that sugar in your body and you're like, oh, God, I was so thirsty. And the next thing you know, what happens? A couple hours later, if even that long, maybe 20 minutes later, you're thirsty again, right? There's a message here, so be quiet and listen to me, okay? And you all go back to the fridge and you fill your cup up with the same sugary crap, right? Well, let me tell you something. Some of the things that you're putting in your body is not there to quench your thirst and hydrate your body. It's there to fill your body up with shit. It's serving absolutely no purpose because you are still left thirsty. And the more dehydrated you get, the more crap you're putting into your body, okay? And you start pulling all the crap and you start pouring all this crap into your body. And what do you think happens? You're left dehydrated and you're sucking from everything you possibly could. And then all of a sudden, you gotta cleanse because now your body is full of sugar and poison and all of the dye. There's a science that they said, that red dye number 5 or 4, whatever number these scientists came out with, it's poisonous to the brain. It's poisonous to the body. And all of the sugary crap that you all put in there, it's full of poison. When you start drinking water, water is cleansing. Water is going to hydrate your body. So you can't really listen to people that are dehydrated of the soul. So many people running out there and all they need is a good glass of water. They fill their minds and they fill their bodies of crap. And all they need is somebody to tell them, just Drink some water and mind your business and stop minding the business of others. So many people have filled their brains with all of the crap on the internet. What is this thing called now, Marissa? The Telegram. So many people sit on this Telegram and they watch all this stuff, and not enough resource and hydration to replenish their spirit and replenish their souls. A lot of people have lost their way. A lot of people don't resource the source. So many people are out here just living waywardly, if you understand what I'm saying. So the same way you got to drink your water to replenish your organs, you got to cleanse your mind of the things you are receiving from the things you're reading and the things that you were watching and the things that you were listening to. Everybody caught that message. I'm 92 years old, and I know sometimes I could get a little bit winded. I've witnessed a lot in my life, so I just want to share that message with you. So everybody, please make sure you have water. This is not nearly enough water. You need about triple this in your day, but you know, this girl, she likes to leave this water bottle on her desk, so I just drink her stuff. I'm almost finished with my cigarette. Let me just get one more pull. Okay, let me listen, everybody. Drink your water, mind your business, and most of all, you want to know what's going to carry you through life? Keep people's names out of your mouth. If you're going to speak negatively on people, don't speak at all, because everything you do has an action and there's a reaction. Not everybody is going to act the same way. So the things in which you've done before and done to other people, you might have gotten away with. You's all listening to me still? But you might do something or say something that you got away with before that you won't get away with it in the future. So I advise everybody to mind your goddamn business. Drink your water. Pay attention to the things in which you're receiving here. And keep people's names out your mouth. Okay, everybody, hold on one second. This little baby got a little bit of ashes on top of the baby's head. Hold on before the kids see. Okay, everybody, listen, that's my time. It is 22 minutes after the hour. I got to go get my children. I hope you got a word from Ashy Agnes. Thank you to everybody. You all, literally, this show is powered and we keep the lights on because of you. So I do thank you for different ways in which you want to contribute to help keep the motion of the ocean going. Click the link in my bio. I thank you in advance. I thank you for everybody that has already done what you do, how you love on me. I really appreciate you. For everybody that sends me a message, to everybody that contributed in the chat, I just want to say thank you. You are the real MVP. For everybody that watched, because you are a silent watcher, I love and appreciate you too. You are the real MVP too. For everybody that hits that wish list, I think that's wild. I'm still like, I don't know at what point would I get used to it. I will probably never. So I just need you to get used to me saying, I think that's crazy. I will replenish it. People are like, yo, Tosh, you got to replenish your wish list. Hello? Not you asking me to replenish my wish. You know what should I be putting with that? You know what? Maybe I'll see if there's some covers for my headphones. I'll see if that exists. If not, if I've got any, people in here that do crochet and knitting and stuff, make me some covers for my headphones. Cause I hate that. It's all sweaty under here. We are back here this evening. I do come back at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. The Natasha Simona sequence. We do this in two parts. I got you in the morning and I got you in the evening. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. As always, both shows have two different personalities. So listen, if you can catch me later live, let's do this. If you catch me on the rewatch, thank you for the rewatch. Thank you for watching. We are still on Operation 10K. You know, my numbers fluctuate. That's just the way of life. Shout out to everybody. Like, I've got like private eye investigators. Taj, why are your numbers dropping? Numbers drop, numbers rise. Listen, let's not focus on the numbers. Let's just focus on the quality of content. That's where we're at right now. But in the name of knowing how these monetization spaces work, let's get my numbers up to 10K, because that's when you all could buy badges. I know you guys like buying badges on the different platforms that you go to, for your different social media experiences. But until we get to 10K, it's all about everything else. And so, you know, I'm grateful for that. So, again, we're not focusing on numbers. We're focusing on content quality of the experience of the sequence. Oh, I like how that kind of rolled off my tongue. And once everything, once we get this all going and you all share me, then those numbers will do what it has to do. And then you know what number I'm focused on? I'm focused on the networks, baby. We're focused on the networks. We understand social media, we need a certain number to monetize and all those things. But guess what? There's different ways that you could, if you really want to pour into me, hit that link in the bio. That's how you can pour into me for right now. I'm grateful. I appreciate it. But for right now, let's just focus on building. Let's focus on growing, because this is what we're going to do. We're going to lock arms together and we're going to go to these networks together. So when I actually can say, everybody, there is a live studio taping. Why did that just choke me up? That's crazy. I was just on a roll, wrapping up my show, and that choked me up a little bit. When we lock arms and I say to you, everybody, there's a network that presented this contract and we're going to be taping live. I don't know where it's going to be. All of you, I will make sure that you all are sitting in that audience and not on the screen. And God damn it, we gonna do this until that happens. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that rocks with me, that watches me live, that participates. I don't even know why I'm getting emotional, but I'm gonna end this because crying is so crazy right now. But we doing this until we get there. Everybody, you enjoy your Wednesday. It's 26 minutes after the hour. It's 26 minutes after the hour. Everybody, let's rock out. It is Wednesday. It's hump day. We are almost finished with this week. Good night, everybody. Have a good day. Look at me. I'm ready to go to sleep. Have a good day, everybody.